Jane Slacksmith here, and talking about pre-approvals, if you've got a pre-approval, then it's time to start acting now. Most pre-approvals last for about 3 months. So that means that you have 3 months that the bank's approved that amount of money for you to go look for. A lot of people actually get a pre-approval for a little bit higher than what they actually need, and there's a little bit of misunderstanding in the sense that they think that they then have to take that loan out. So for instance, if you're buying a $400,000 property and you have a pre-approval for $360,000, that doesn't mean that if you then go and buy a $380,000 property that the loan is $360,000. It's actually the ratio. So the $360,000 to $400,000 was a 90% lend, so you'd be looking at a 90% lend of the $380,000. So you're probably up to going and looking at properties, and you know exactly what you want by now, because you really shouldn't have a pre-approval in my mind unless you do know what you want. So it's about taking action and finding specifically what suits you. Now, you might be looking for a home, you might be looking to upgrade your home, or you might be looking for an investment. Regardless of what you're actually looking for, you need to know specifically what you're after. So with a pre-approval, you know what your borrowing capacity is, you know how much you have to contribute, but you should also know exactly where you're going to buy. Now, how do you do this? Well, you're really going to have to look at your research, and you're going to actually look at your needs and your wants and your buying criteria. Now, if you're buying a home, then you're possibly going to be buying close to where you work, close to where your friends are, family, schools, whatever. If you're buying an investment property, well, in actual fact, there's over 12,000 suburbs and towns in Australia that you can choose from. So you really need to narrow it down. And to do that, you really need to start your research. I suggest that you start looking at between 3 and 5 suburbs. Any more is just going to fill your brain. And probably best to go and make an investment, $10 at the local newsagents for an Australian Property Investor magazine, Smart Property Investor magazine, or Your Investment Property. Because right at the end of those magazines, they have all the suburbs in Australia split by houses and units, and they tell you what the median price is. Now, once you have that median price and it fits what you can afford, you then need to go and do some more research. So narrowing down to 3 to 5 suburbs and getting the right research is actually the key for you finding the right property. Once you know what you can borrow, what the property value is you're looking at, then you've got the information about the median values in the suburbs, you can actually specifically look at what type of property you're after. Now, if $350,000 is the median property value, jump on realestate.com.au, domain.com.au, or even suburbview.com, which is my favourite, and get in there and have a look at what $350,000 will buy you. So you're actually looking at what that normal median property is, because there's no point in buying a $350,000 property that's a 2-bedroom house when the median for the area is 3 bedrooms, and that's what everyone expects. So if you've been through my courses, you probably know, to me, it's all about low-risk investing, be it investing in your home or in an investment property. And you can minimise the risk by actually buying within what most people want to rent or what you have the biggest market for if you're going to resell that property. So it may not necessarily be the best thing for you to buy a 1-bedroom unit. It might be better to buy a 2-bedroom unit, because when you resell that property, you could actually rent it, or you could sell it to an investor, a mum, dad and a kid, flatmates. So you actually have more of a market that you can sell it to as well. So looking at low risk is kind of what you have to balance out when you're looking at the properties as well. So you've got a pre-approval, it's time to start going and looking at properties and getting information. Good luck with your search.